My child, you stood still today,
not because you
chose stillness, but
because you weren't
sure if moving would mean wasting even more time. You've been circling the same hopes, the same prayers, the same doors that don't open. There's a tiredness, not just in your body, but deep in your timing. It's as if you've been waiting on me to move, and in the silence, the questions got louder. You didn't dare say it out loud, but you thought it.
Has my time
passed? Did I miss something? Did I get it wrong? Delay has a voice. It whispers that you're forgotten, that others got there first, that maybe your season was stolen. And when it speaks, it doesn't just delay your plans. It starts to erode your confidence. That's what happened, isn't it? Not all at once, just gradually. The passion you once carried with open hands now feels like something you're afraid to look at too long.
You love me.
But you don't trust the clock anymore. You trust me,
but not my timing.
And I need to speak into that today, not with rebuke, but with the clarity you've been crying for. Hear me. The delay did not cancel your destiny. The slow did not kill the seed. The silence did not stop the story. And what I began in you, I'm still invested in completing. No matter how long it has felt, no matter who got there first, and no matter how many detours came in between. Delay is not denial. I need you to hear that, not as a cliche, but as a prophecy over your life. There is a difference between what I withhold and what I'm preparing. And what you've seen as pause, I've seen as protection. Not everything you desired was ready to receive you. Not every promise could carry the weight of your calling yet. And you weren't just waiting for the thing to be ready. You were being shaped into someone who could walk in it with integrity and fire, not just excitement. That ache you feel, it isn't failure, it's divine hunger, that restlessness. It isn't confusion. It's the rumbling of something I planted long ago that's getting ready to break open. Even when you thought you were standing still, I was stretching your roots deeper. You prayed for fruit. I gave you foundation. There's something you didn't see. Delay gave me time to remove the wrong voices around you. It gave me space to close some paths you would have taken out of fear. It forced your ears to tune to my whisper, not the applause of others. You were not buried, you were planted. And yes, the soil got heavy. Yes, the waiting got long. But underground, where no one was clapping, I was forming you. I know what they said, I know what you started to believe. That maybe you're behind, that maybe the open door was missed, that maybe you're too old, too tired, too late. But I need you to remember, I don't operate on human clocks. I'm not rushed by trends or delayed by traffic. My promises are not Amazon packages you track. My word creates time. It doesn't bow to it. I redeem it. I restore it. I multiply what was lost, and I write destinies that outlive human limitation. Let's go back to that first moment. You heard me. That moment when the calling came alive in your spirit. Remember how certain you were, how light your spirit felt, how the picture of your future felt like wind under your ribs. That was me. That was an imagination. That was an emotional hype. I was the one who whispered it. And I haven't changed my mind. You haven't outlived the prophecy. You haven't invalidated the promise. What I authored still stands. And no delay, not even the ones you caused, has overruled my intent. Yes, even your own mistakes were factored into my redemptive timeline. I don't just make plans, I make resurrection paths. You assumed the delay meant you lost favor. But some delays are sacred. Some delays are me saving you from premature exposure. Some delays are me silencing counterfeit voices before I amplify yours. And some delays are mercy. So that when you walk through the door, you don't lose yourself inside it. You thought I was distant because nothing was moving. But I was never closer than during your waiting. I was refining your discernment, training your patience, strengthening your yes. There were hidden things that needed to die before the visible fruit could safely grow. So here's the truth you've avoided saying out loud. You're afraid to hope again. Not because you don't believe in me, but because you don't want to feel that ache again. And I understand that. Hope costs something, especially after delay. But I'm inviting you to hope again, not blindly but boldly, because now your hope is rooted deeper. Now your hope has survived disappointment. Now your hope is no longer about chasing outcomes, but about trusting me. Lift your head, recalibrate your heart. The clock didn't betray you. Heaven hasn't forgotten you. And your destiny is still intact, not in spite of the delay, but through it. You are not late. You are not late. You are right on time for what I'm about to do next. You've spent too long translating delay as disqualification. Every time you saw someone else get what you were waiting for, a silent voice inside you said, "It must be because I'm not ready, not chosen, not enough." You stopped calling it jealousy, but the wounded left told the truth. Your heart didn't just break because of the weight. It fractured under the lie that you were being overlooked. And every unspoken comparison became another reason to shrink. But I never asked you to run someone else's race. I never measured your destiny by their calendar. I don't do copy-paste callings. I craft timelines that are as unique as your fingerprints. And what I've marked for you, no one else can take, even if they arrive first, even if they shine louder, even if they look more prepared. I did not put your name on their story, and I did not put their name on yours. So let me be clear, you are not behind. You're not a backup plan. You're not the forgotten one. You're not the late arrival. You're mine. And I haven't just been watching you wait. I've been shaping you in it. Every time you kept walking without the spotlight, every time you celebrated someone else's breakthrough while secretly holding your tears, I saw you. You were becoming weightier than you knew. Because while others were rushing into visibility, I was building your roots in invisibility. I'm not building you for fast applause. I'm preparing you for lasting impact. And impact doesn't come through shortcuts. It comes through surrender. That's what this delay has been. Not punishment, but preparation. Not a shutdown, but a shaping. You didn't miss the moment. I've just been extending the foundation so you can carry more than you imagined. You've asked, but didn't I obey? Didn't I say yes? Yes, you did. And that's exactly why the refining came. Not because I was angry, because I was entrusting you with something holy. And holy things require holy process. You didn't fail me. The wait wasn't evidence of failure, it was evidence of favor. I prune what I want to see flourish. I refine what I want to reveal. You weren't being passed over, you were being purified. You assumed delay meant distance between us, but that's not how I work. If anything, I draw nearer in the tension. I came closer in the ache. I sat with you when no one else noticed. I held your voice when you were too weary to pray. I caught the tears you told no one about. I wasn't absent. I was anchoring you. Let me tell you something your soul needs to hear again. Delay does not mean abandonment. It doesn't mean the dream died. It doesn't mean the vision was false. It means the seed is still underground. And underground is still in my hands. Even now, in this moment, I'm untangling you from the lies you adopted to cope with disappointment. Lies that said you're too broken, that you missed the window, that you were replaced. I never replaced you. I never gave your calling to someone else. There are divine timings that cannot be rushed, and you are standing on the edge of one of them. But before I move you forward, I want to move the weight off your soul. Because it's not just delay that has wearied you, it's how you've carried it. You tried to smile through it, to serve through it, to prove you were still valuable, while quietly wondering if your value was fading. You performed while you were aching, and I want you to know I saw that too. You thought your invisibility was a punishment, but even in the shadows, I was delighting in you. Even when you felt irrelevant, I was using every silent day to chisel away the parts of you that needed to be free before the promise could come. You weren't being punished, you were being preserved. And now, even as you stand weary and unsure, I am still whispering destiny over you. You are not lost, you are not late, and you are not disqualified. They may have called you the one who always waits, but I call you my planted one, my entrusted one, my resilient one, my chosen one. There are doors opening even now, quiet ones, sacred ones. And this time, you'll walk through them without needing to prove anything, because the delay has taught you who you are when no one is watching. Let that truth sink in. You are still called, you are still mine, and your destiny is still alive. I need to show you something you haven't dared to look at yet, not because you're weak, but because you've been protecting yourself from further disappointment. But if we don't name the hidden wound, it keeps leaking under every decision. That's why it's hard for you to say yes without hesitation. That's why you second-guess your own discernment. Because beneath your strength, there's a question that's been haunting you silently. What if the delay happened because I failed God? That lie has followed you like a shadow. It started subtle. Just a doubt here, a memory there. A moment where you wondered if you missed a sign. A time when you felt like you didn't pray enough, believe hard enough, move quickly enough. And over time, that quiet accusation grew into something heavier. You didn't say it out loud, but you started believing it. Maybe this delay is punishment. Maybe I caused this. And here is my answer, as direct and clear as you need it to be. No, child. You are not being punished. I am not holding your past against you. Even when you made missteps, even when you chose survival over surrender, even when fear silenced your obedience, I was still writing a redemptive story over your life. I am the God who rewrote Jonah's route, who restored Peter after the denial, who welcomed Thomas even in doubt. You think I would throw away your future because you didn't get it perfect on the first try? I didn't choose you for your performance. I chose you because I loved you first. But yes, I saw what shaped you. I saw how much pressure you've carried since you were young, how often you had to lead without being led, how you became the strong one before your heart had time to heal. You took on responsibility for everyone else's chaos. And when your life started to slow down, that same pressure turned inward. You blamed yourself for the delay, not because it was your fault, but because blaming yourself gave you the illusion of control. If it was your fault, at least it made sense. At least you could fix it. That's why the lie was so tempting. It made your pain feel explainable. But I don't want you living in self-blame any longer. I want you free. I want your heart clean of false guilt and your spirit washed from performance. Not because you deserve it, but because I already paid for it. I never asked you to carry what only grace can restore. Let me be the one to hold that weight. Let me remind you that your destiny was never based on flawlessness. It was based on my faithfulness. You've mistaken the silence for anger, but I've been closer in the silence than you know. I've been holding the walls up while your faith wavered. I've been sealing the cracks the enemy tried to exploit. I've been protecting what you were too exhausted to defend. And now, I'm revealing what was always true. Your delay is not punishment. It's part of the preparation. What you felt as abandonment was actually a holy pause. Me guarding you from premature breakthrough, because there are doors that will crush you if you walk through them too early, and I don't want applause for you. I want alignment in you. That's the kind of favor that lasts, the kind of legacy that doesn't burn out. Let me ask you this, would you have been able to carry the full weight of your calling 2 years ago? Would your heart have been ready to be trusted with influence, platform, pressure, and open doors? You're stronger now, wiser now, Not because you skipped the process, but because you stayed through it, even when nothing made sense. That's what I honor. That's why the oil on your life will be different, because it didn't come from performance. It came from perseverance. And now, as I begin to reopen the gates, you won't walk in with fear or striving. You'll walk in with peace, because this time your confidence won't come from progress. It'll come from presence. Let's call the pain what it is. It wasn't failure. It was pruning. It wasn't rejection. It was redirection. It wasn't judgment. It was refinement. And none of it was wasted. You are not late. You are right on time for what I'm about to entrust to you. And that quiet ache that's been living in your chest, that's about to become the very place my glory rests. Let me speak this over you like a seal on your spirit. You're not defined by delays. You're defined by the one who holds your time. Do you feel that stirring? The soft, almost imperceptible shift inside you? You've carried so much silence, so much stillness, that even the smallest breeze from my spirit feels like a storm. But it's real. Something is moving. It's not loud. Not yet. But it's steady. Like rain before dawn. Like the ground trembling just before the seed breaks through. The delay is not the only thing speaking anymore. Now, my voice is starting to rise again inside you. You noticed it earlier, didn't you? That strange sense of calm, even when your questions weren't answered. That unexpected moment of joy that didn't have a reason. That one conversation that reminded you of a version of yourself you thought had disappeared. Those weren't coincidences. They were signs. They were whispers from my hand. I've been planting reminders along the path, hints that I never left, that I never forgot. That I've been orchestrating details in the background. The door hasn't opened fully yet, but it's not locked anymore. The pressure that used to weigh down your chest doesn't grip you the same way. You can breathe again. Not because everything changed around you, but because something is healing within you. That is how breakthrough begins. Not always with fireworks, but with clarity. Not always with wide open gates, but with unlocked chains, and one by one, they're falling. The fear that told you to shrink, I'm breaking it. The lie that said you were too late, I'm silencing it. The fatigue that numbed your discernment, I'm lifting it. Your spiritual senses are waking up again, not out of desperation, but from hope. I'm restoring your rhythm, not just your route. I'm not just giving you direction. I'm giving you awareness, the ability to notice me even in small things. That's what you're learning now, to discern movement before it becomes visible. You're recognizing that my presence isn't tied to performance, and that delay doesn't mean disconnection. It means invitation. I've been inviting you into deeper trust, not because I needed you to suffer, but because I wanted to give you more than what you asked for. You asked for timing. I'm giving you wisdom. You asked for doors. I'm giving you discernment. You asked for momentum. I'm giving you resilience. You asked for arrival. I'm giving you roots. Because if you only receive what you asked for, you might miss what you actually need. But I see it all. I know what will keep you steady when the breakthrough comes. I know what will keep your heart clean when recognition tries to seduce you. That's why the wait felt long. It was mercy wrapped in mystery. And now that mercy is unfolding. Listen closely. You're not standing in failure, you're standing in formation. You're not stuck, you're stabilizing. And even when the steps ahead seem small or unclear, they are steps nonetheless. Don't despise the slow reawakening. Don't dismiss the small signs. The same God who split seas also leads by cloud and whisper. You're not waiting for me to show up. I'm already here, and I'm already working, not just around you, but within you. Can you feel it now? That subtle realignment between your faith and your future? You no longer need to fake joy. You're starting to believe again. That's not emotional hype. That's resurrection. That's what I do best. I breathe on dry bones. I revive closed hearts. I bring beauty out of broken timelines. And I'm doing that in you right now. Even here, even today. What you thought was the end of your momentum has actually been the strengthening of your core. This pause didn't stop you. It saved you. It didn't strip your purpose. It refined your motives. And because of that, when you walk forward, it will not be with anxiety, but with authority. You're not the same person who started this journey. The delay has not left you empty. It's made you ready. The beginning of restoration doesn't always come with a bang. Sometimes it starts with something as quiet as breath returning to a weary chest. That's happening now. You're not just surviving the wait anymore. You're starting to sense the wind shift. And when the wind shifts, my spirit moves. And when my spirit moves, doors open on time, in alignment, without forcing. Stay with me. Stay expectant. Stay open. Because what I do next won't just redeem what was lost. It will exceed what you thought possible. The signs are already here. You're not just close, you're crossing over. There is a new pace I'm inviting you to walk in. Not the pace of striving, not the pace of performance, but the pace of presence. The delay you experienced exposed something deeper. You've been conditioned to measure progress by movement. But I've always measured maturity by alignment. And now, I want to teach you how to live from that place. Not just once the breakthrough comes, but starting now. Let me ask you gently, how have you been treating your body during the wait? Have you punished it for not keeping up with the pressure? Have you ignored its signals, its tiredness, its tension, its needs? So often when delay stretches longer than expected, you turn your body into a machine trying to stay useful. But you were never called to earn your purpose through exhaustion. You don't have to prove your worth by burning out in faithfulness. I honor rest as much as I honor action. I'm not glorified by your collapse. I'm glorified by your obedience. And sometimes obedience looks like trusting me enough to pause. You're allowed to rest, even when the breakthrough hasn't come yet. Let that truth settle in. You're not wasting time by resting. You are reclaiming it, and your spirit, how tender it's been. There's weariness in you that isn't solved with sleep. It's the weariness that comes from holding on so tightly to hope that feels delayed. I want to minister to that place in you. The place that doesn't know what to pray anymore. The place that feels empty, but still won't let go. That's not weakness. That's faith in its purest form. And now, I want to water it. So be honest with me. Take 10 minutes and tell me the truth. Not the version you think you're supposed to say. Just the honest ache, the frustrated places, the parts of you that feel stuck between what you know and what you feel. I don't need scripted prayers. I want the kind of honesty that heals. You don't need to protect me from your questions. I'm not intimidated by your silence. Even the sighs you let out in the kitchen, the thoughts that break in during a meeting, the ones you never speak out loud. I hear those. I hold those. I interpret those. The Holy Spirit intercedes for you when you don't know how to articulate what's happening in your soul. Romans 8:26. You're not failing in prayer. You're being carried through it. And what about time? How have you been stewarding it while you wait? This is where I'm inviting you to shift. Waiting does not mean pausing your purpose. There are assignments I'm still placing in your hands. Seeds I'm still asking you to plant. People I'm still positioning around you. Don't fall for the lie that says, once the breakthrough happens, then I'll obey fully. Your faithfulness now is shaping the container for what's coming. What you build in the delay will become the structure that holds the promise. So build well, even in quiet seasons. Choose consistency over perfection. Choose devotion over visibility. Wake up and ask me where to pour your love, even if it's just into one conversation, one journal entry, one small yes. I take those things and multiply them in ways you can't imagine. Remember this, you are not called to fill every space. You are called to fill the space I assign you. So take a breath. Release the pressure to be everywhere at once. You don't have to run to catch up. You only have to stay in step with me. This delay has not been a dead zone. It has been a deepening. And the lifestyle you cultivate now will shape how you carry the next season. That's why I'm slowing you down to recalibrate your rhythms before the pace picks back up. Let me say it another way. Your gentleness is your new strength. Your stillness is not laziness, it's clarity. Your boundaries are not rejection, they're wisdom. You don't need to overextend yourself to feel worthy of forward motion. If I'm not rushing you, why are you rushing yourself? Don't mistake waiting for inactivity. Your spirit is growing, your sensitivity is maturing, your discernment is sharpening. The next season will require more focus, not more frenzy. And so I'm preparing you now, not just to enter destiny, but to live from it without losing your peace. You won't need to hustle to keep what I give you. You'll walk in it like a child who knows their father is covering every step. So today, tend to your inner garden. Check your soul's pace, listen to your body, steward your time, and do it all not out of fear, but out of alignment. This is how you live forward, even while the door is still opening. You've carried so many names that I never gave you. Names like too slow, too late, the one who's always waiting, the forgotten one. Labels etched into your heart, not by me, but by disappointment. Somewhere along the way, you started seeing yourself through the lens of outcomes. When things moved quickly, you felt chosen. When everything stalled, you felt invisible. You let time become your mirror, and delay became your identity. But today I'm shattering that mirror. Delay is not who you are. It was only part of your journey. Let me remind you of your true name, the one I whispered before time began. You are not the one who's always behind. You are my beloved, my anointed, my prepared one, my planted one. You are not defined by what didn't happen yet. You're defined by the one who never stopped working. Take a breath, look at your hands. They may feel tired, but they're still holy, still chosen, still appointed. The oil didn't dry up just because the opportunity delayed. The mantle is still yours. The calling still fits. I never removed it. I was refining it. Somewhere along the way, you became the one people leaned on. The strong one, the dependable one, the available one. And I know you didn't mind at first. You were grateful to be useful. You liked helping. But little by little, that role became armor. And behind that armor, your soul began to ache. Because you weren't just being strong, you were hiding. You thought, if I stay strong enough, maybe the breakthrough will come faster. Maybe God will see how faithful I am and reward me. But I never asked you to prove anything. Not your faith, not your usefulness, not your value. You never had to earn what I already gave. That identity you crafted. The one who always says yes, always keeps it together, always swallows disappointment quietly. That version of you was born from survival. But I'm not calling the survivor forward now. I'm calling the son. I'm calling the daughter. I'm calling the daughter. I'm calling the child who knows they are loved without needing to produce. You don't need to keep performing to stay in my plan. It's time to take off the labels, the waiting placed on you. The overlooked one, the one who's always behind, the runner-up. None of those are your name in my book. I didn't write almost over your story. I wrote called, I wrote appointed, I wrote sealed with my promise. And I know part of you is still scared to hope again. You don't want to set your heart on fire only to feel the cold of delay again. I understand, but hear me. This isn't about stirring up shallow hope. This is about remembering who you are when you stop measuring yourself by what hasn't happened. You are not what you're waiting for. You are not the title you didn't receive, the platform you haven't stepped on, or the relationship that hasn't come yet. You are not defined by delay, position, progress, or productivity. You are mine. That is your name.
And there is
peace in that name. There is freedom in that identity. When you remember who you are, you stop begging for validation. You stop chasing timelines. You stop wearing masks to make others comfortable. That's what I'm doing in you now. Stripping away every false identity that tried to settle on you during the delay. Because when the promise opens, I don't want the performer walking through the door. I want the real you. The one who prays quietly not to be seen. The one who stays when no one claps. The one who still loves me even after years of waiting. That's who I'm raising. That's the one I trust. And that's the one who's ready. You're not walking into this next season to prove you still have it. You're walking in because you finally believe you don't need to prove anything at all. So drop the masks. Drop the labels. Drop the pressure to be what delay tried to make you. You're not the strong one anymore. You're the surrendered one. And that is far more powerful. Now that you've laid down the false identities, I want to teach you how to walk forward in truth. Not rushed, not reactive, but rooted. You've been in a long delay, and when movement finally begins, the temptation is to sprint. But destiny doesn't require speed, it requires sensitivity. It's not the loudest steps that bring you forward, it's the most aligned ones. So listen closely, child. This next season is not about more activity, it's about more accuracy. Before you chase anything, come back into rhythm with me. Let me lead your steps again. Not your fear of time, not your need to catch up, not the noise of what others are doing. I will show you where to move, when to wait, and what to release, and it begins here. Return to simplicity. I know you want detailed maps, I know you want timelines, blueprints, certainty, but I'm inviting you into something better. Communion. I want you to walk with me daily, slowly, intentionally. Let go of the need to know everything in advance. That need has only fed your anxiety. I will give you just enough light for the next step, and when you take it, I'll give more. Start by creating space again. Sacred space, real space. Not just 10 rushed minutes in the morning. Give me room to speak without hurry. I'm not hiding my voice. You're just not always still enough to hear it. Let's begin again with simple rhythms. Wake up and ask me one question. What is your heart for today? Not, what should I do? Not, what do I need to fix? Just, Father, where is your heart leading me right now? That question will realign you more than any productivity system ever could. And then, journal again, yes, even if it feels dry. Even if you don't know what to write. Write your raw thoughts. Write your questions. Write your prayers. And then pause. Ask me to speak and write what you sense. Not what you think I want to hear, but what truly comes. Over time, you'll start to notice the difference between your thoughts and my whispers. Start fasting, but not just from food. Fast from noise, from comparison, from measuring your life against other people's highlight reels. Every time your mind starts spinning in timelines and metrics, stop. Breathe. Remember, you're not behind, you're becoming. That's not something to rush. It's something to savor. Create moments in your day where you do nothing but listen, even if it's 5 minutes. No music, no phone, just breath and awareness. Let me recalibrate your spiritual hearing. I am not far. I'm in the stillness. And when fear starts to rise, when you feel that panic that says, if I don't act now, I'll miss it again, I want you to stop and remember, you don't have to force what I'm opening. Doors that require you to abandon your peace are not doors I sent. That's how you'll know the difference in this next season. Not every opportunity will be divine. Some things will look good, but pull you out of rest.
And that's your
compass now. Follow peace, not pressure. Let me also speak to your relationships. Some of the people who walked with you in the delay won't walk with you into the fulfillment. That's not betrayal, it's transition. You're not leaving them behind. You're simply not shrinking yourself to keep their comfort anymore. Be discerning about who gets access to your process. Not everyone who clapped for your past season can carry the weight of your next. You don't owe everyone an explanation, but you do owe me your obedience. And here's something you must remember. What I open, I sustain. You don't have to manipulate the outcome. You don't have to network your way into prophecy. I will do it. I will establish you, and I will keep you steady. But I need you to walk with me daily, not as a task, but as your source. Not as a discipline only, but as a desire. The delay purified your appetite. Now you don't want just progress, you want me. And that is exactly the kind of heart I can trust with destiny. So here's your instruction, child. Stay close, stay low, stay light, and stay listening. Your next steps will come from the whisper, not the whirlwind. There is a shift happening in the unseen, even now. Not because you forced it, but because your heart is finally aligned to carry it. Your soul is no longer chasing shadows of someday. You are rooted in me, and that rooting has opened the gates. Where delay once stood like a wall, now favor begins to flow like a river. I'm not only healing your past, I'm announcing your forward motion. What you couldn't force through striving is now opening through surrender. You'll begin to notice it in small, unexpected ways, conversations that lead to restoration, doors you never knocked on beginning to unlock, ideas that once felt dormant, coming back to life with precision and clarity. These are not coincidences. These are my movements. My favor is moving toward you, not because you performed well in the delay, but because your heart turned toward me in the silence. The posture of humility you've taken, the secret place obedience, the invisible yes, the yield surrender, these things have carried weight in the spirit. I've seen every hidden yes, and now I'm breathing on them. Watch what happens when peace becomes your compass. You'll start to see what you used to miss. You'll notice alignment that doesn't demand attention. You'll sense when a room shifts. You'll walk into meetings and feel the atmosphere bend, because my presence goes before you. Not every door will look spectacular, but the ones I open will carry substance. And hear me on this. You don't need to announce your return. I will do that. I will be your vindication. You won't have to prove that you're still called. I will cause what I placed in you to speak for itself. They thought you disappeared. They thought you got lost in the delay. But I was hiding you, preserving you, planting you. And now, as the time of emergence comes, your roots will speak louder than your resume. Your fruit will validate the wait. I'm even restoring years, not by rewinding time, but by accelerating purpose. What you thought would take decades will begin to move in months, not through rush, but through rightness. When I breathe on something, time bends to my will. I don't just restore, I redeem. There will be moments in the coming weeks where you'll have to choose between the familiar path and the faithful one. Don't default to what's comfortable. Follow the prompting. If I say pause, pause. If I say speak, speak. If I say go, go. Even if it doesn't make logical sense. You've walked long enough in human reasoning. Now I'm teaching you divine responsiveness. And yes, I'm bringing people to walk with you, not out of pity, but out of prophetic connection. You're not entering this season alone. I'm weaving together kingdom-aligned relationships, people who won't pull from you, but pour into you. People who won't compete with your calling, but will help carry it. These aren't just friends. their fellow builders. You'll also begin to see old assignments lift. Things that once felt important will lose their weight. Don't panic. This is me transitioning you. If you keep trying to revive what I'm releasing, you'll miss what I'm revealing. Let the old mantle fall. The new one is lighter, and it fits now. When here's the most important part. You won't have to beg for clarity. It will come, not all at once, but in the rhythm of your walk. As you move, the path will appear. As you say yes, the next page will turn. I'm not holding it back to frustrate you, I'm revealing it at the pace your heart can carry. So expect movement, expect surprises, expect new language to rise in your mouth, expect to remember who you are daily, expect divine interruptions, and above all, expect me. You're not just stepping into destiny, you're stepping into the fullness of your trust in me. And that trust, that is what opens doors no one can shut. Now that you've stepped out of the fog and begun to see the signs of life again, I don't want you to slip back into self-dependence. Destiny is not sustained by willpower, it's carried by breath. And that breath is not a metaphor. That breath is my spirit, the very one who hovered over the waters at creation, the one who raised Christ from the dead, the one who never left your side in the delay. You need the Spirit, not just to begin again, but to continue well. So let's make this clear. My Spirit is not a backup plan. He is not your emergency supply. He is the breath of your new rhythm. The one who moves when your logic fails. The one who reminds you who you are when the noise gets loud again. The one who whispers, my truth, when the old lies try to return with new disguises. He is your breath. Let him be your breath. This is how you sustain what I'm opening in your life, not by managing outcomes, but by staying in constant communion. Don't compartmentalize the Spirit to your prayer time. Invite him into your errands, your emails, your driving, your decision-making. Let him interrupt you. Let him teach you to breathe spiritually, the same way your lungs breathe without effort. And when the pressure rises again, because it will, pause, breathe, ask him what's real and what's just noise. The enemy loves to reintroduce urgency as a distraction, but my Spirit brings clarity, not chaos. The Spirit will never rush you into fear. He will never push you into performance. He will always lead you in peace. I want you to start noticing when your soul tightens. That's a signal. Ask, where did I leave peace? Where did I stop listening? And then return, not to a checklist, but to breath. That's where my Spirit waits. You were never meant to sustain your destiny through spiritual tension. You were meant to live from overflow. But overflow doesn't come from busyness. It comes from being filled, over and over again. Don't wait until you're empty to seek me. Let filling become your lifestyle. I'm not sending you back into the world with nothing but inspiration. I'm sending you with an indwelling companion. The Spirit is your reminder when discouragement creeps in, your advocate when self-doubt whispers again, your intercessor when your words run dry. He doesn't just stay in your victories. He walks with you in every valley between them. You will need him, not because you are weak, but because you are chosen. The weight of calling is too great to carry without breath. Even Jesus didn't begin until the Spirit rested on him. So why would you? Let this be your sacred rhythm. Inhale trust, exhale striving. Inhale truth, exhale fear. Inhale grace, exhale guilt, again and again, until it becomes your nature. Let the Spirit not only guide you, but form you. And child, hear me. This isn't temporary. This isn't a spiritual high to get you through one hard week. I'm inviting you into a lifelong friendship. One where my Spirit becomes your new default, not your last resort. So let him speak first. Let him have the loudest voice. Let him remind you that just because the delay stretched you, it didn't steal your breath. It deepened it. You've learned to breathe in tighter places. And now, that things are opening. You'll move with a depth and wisdom that didn't come from books or mentors, but from the Spirit who stayed when no one else did. This is how you'll walk into the promises ahead, not breathless and frantic, but steady and full. And when others ask how you're doing it, you'll smile, not because you figured it out, but because you're no longer carrying it alone. You'll simply say, I breathe with him now. You've come farther than you realize. This road of delay, this valley of silence, it didn't empty you, it refined you. You thought the waiting would weaken your voice, but instead, it gave it weight. You thought it would dim your light, but instead it purified your flame. And now, child, I am sending you forward, not as the person who waited in fear, but as the one who was forged in fire. This is not about getting back on track. This is about stepping into the track I had for you all along, unshaken by detours, unspoiled by time. What felt like waste was womb. What felt like death was depth. And now you don't carry disappointment, you carry evidence. Evidence that even when the calendar felt silent, my covenant did not move. The time has come to let go of what delay tried to attach to your name. You're not behind. You're not forgotten. You're not broken. You're not too late. You're mine. Still mine. And I'm still moving you forward in fullness. So rise, not rushed but released, not hurried but held. Go forward, not to catch up but to carry what has always been yours. Let my peace mark your steps. Let my presence be your map. Let my spirit remain your breath. There will be moments soon where you will feel the old tension try to return, the anxiety that says, is it really happening this time? And when that comes, I want you to smile, not in denial, but in truth. Because now you know how to answer it, you'll look at the delay and say, you didn't win. You shaped me, but you didn't cancel me. My destiny is still here. My God is still moving, and I'm still walking. And you will walk, child, not with fear, but with fire, not with panic, but with promise, not with pressure, but with peace. You are ready, not because everything is clear, but because everything is surrendered. You may not know exactly what's next, but you finally know who you are, and that is more than enough. Amen. If these words reminded you of who you are, don't let them fade. Someone else is still stuck in the waiting, wondering if they've been forgotten too. Share what reached you, because the echo of your healing might be the lifeline for theirs. Let your restoration speak.